Hi everyone, today I have a very special episode for anyone who's either working in procurement or it starts with creating an RFP for video conferencing unit. Here's my pledge to you. By the end of this video, you will know what the main differences are between a standalone USB video bar and a fully-fledged Microsoft Teams Room device. Now, I decided to start unpicking this particular conundrum by comparing two units from Poly that are super similar in appearance but very different in capability. So let's get started. On the left here, you have Poly Studio X30, a device that's been out there for a while now and that has been received really well by the market. And on the right here, you have Poly Studio R30, a device that Poly announced in the spring of 2022 and which has been starting to sell in volume now. But here's the deal. Both devices have been designed with vastly different purposes in mind, but despite this, these bad boys look pretty similar. I mean, geez, they're more or less the same size, they're more or less the same weight, and both share the same main camera and audio features. If I didn't know that these are two very different beasts, I would easily be forgiven to thinking they were just two of the same. So, purely from a hardware perspective, why is it that the device on the left will set you back about 1,500 euros and the one on the right will cost you about 700 euros. In other words, why is the X30 double the price of the Poly Studio R30 despite the obvious similarities? What the heck is going on here? Well, as always, let me explain. And let's start with the similarities. Both Poly Studio R30 and Poly Studio X30 are designed to be used in small meeting rooms, and both are designed to give you that sort of crisp, high-quality in-call experience that we, quite frankly, expect from a quality producer like Poly. You will have a superb audio and video capability using either of these devices, but that's only half the story. Here's where the two products start to diverge, and for this to make sense, I'll focus on two aspects: end-user experience and admin capabilities. Let's start with the Poly Studio R30. Poly Studio R30 is a high-quality standalone USB video bar. This means that anyone want to use the device for Microsoft Teams calls can do so. You just need to connect to the device using the USB cable that is shipped with the unit. What the Poly Studio R30 does, and by the way does this really well, is that the video bar takes over the camera feature of your Microsoft Teams call, the microphone feature, and the speaker feature of your Microsoft Teams call. From an end user point of view, this means that everyone in the room can be seen on video. They can both hear and be heard by remote participants, which is of course what you would expect. But this is an enormous improvement compared to using the built-in camera, speakers and microphones on your laptop. So what about the ideal user scenario? What would that look like? In other words, what functional requirements would Poly Studio R30, a standalone USB video bar, meet? Well, if you're looking to equip a small meeting room with great video capability with low upfront cost, you have a solid candidate here. It will do the job really well. But as it is a USB video bar, and you are in fact running the meeting from your laptop, there are some restrictions you absolutely must be aware of. The meeting will only start when the person who's either the host or somebody who has been invited to the call starts the call on his or her laptop. Now, if that person needs to step out of the room, and it happens from time to time, that person will either have to keep their laptop open in the meeting room, which may be a breach of company security policy, or they have to have someone else join the call and then plug in the R30 to their laptop. You are also, naturally, using your USB-C port on your laptop, which is a component that easily wears out and can result in the laptop having to be sent for repair. And that, folks, that is not cheap. Replacing a worn-out USB-C port worth about 90 euro cents can set you back hundreds of euros in both service cost and, of course, lost productivity. But what about the Poly Studio X30 then? Well, Poly Studio X30 is a fully-fledged Microsoft Teams Room endpoint. And because of this, your Microsoft Teams meeting is running off the video bar and not on your laptop. You have exactly the same video and audio capabilities as with the R30, but your laptop is not connected to the meeting through a USB cable. And that's important because this adds a ton of flexibility to the meeting experience because anyone can join the meeting room either by simply showing up and pressing one button to join or through something called proximity join. You can step out from the call and the call is not interrupted. If you're trying to keep your laptop support costs down, as many of us are, or you're trying to enforce stricter IT security policies, a centrally managed Microsoft Teams room device, something like a Studio X30, is much better long term. Yeah, it comes with a slightly higher upfront cost, but there are loads of additional benefits that will improve the effectiveness of the meeting. So what about the admin side of things? Let's again start with the Studio R30. Now, although the R30 is a standalone USB device, it can be managed centrally through Wi-Fi. But just to be clear, you can only use Wi-Fi to manage the device. You cannot run your meeting on the Wi-Fi connection. And for managing the device, you use Polylens, which is, of course, as you probably would know, free of charge. 24/7 support and RMAs are available through Poly's Plus support service, which retails at just north of €200 for a 3-year subscription for the R30. By attaching Poly Plus support to the R30, you're also unlocking some of the premium features of Poly Plus. The most useful one being, in my honest opinion, usage insights with details such as counting the numbers of people attending the meeting from the same location, which is really useful information if you're looking to optimize your workspaces. So what about Studio X30 and admin related value? Right, so when it comes to the admin capabilities, the Studio X30 device is in a league of its own. It's managed fully remotely and can be installed remotely by a trained professional. Now, let's start with the biggest benefit though. Studio X30 can be deployed as a Microsoft Teams room, but it can equally well be deployed as a Zoom room, Go-To Room, BlueJeans device, Ring Central. There's a long list that you can look at. Heck, you can even use it as a USB-only device if you wanted to. Studio X30 gives you the freedom of not being stuck with a particular collaboration platform vendor. It's a safe bet in case you haven't made up your mind on which collaboration platform you want to run your meetings on, or if you want to maintain a multi-vendor platform. Most backend management platforms, such as, of course, Microsoft Teams Admin Center and Zoom Device Management or Elisa Hummingbird, give you the full set of tools to manage the devices, to monitor usage, and to use advanced analytics to really understand, for example, usage patterns that you might need or want to see when you're working on your hybrid work strategy. So software upgrades and RMAs for the X30 are available with Poly Plus support. That will set you back about €430 for a 3-year service. So which way should you lean then? The million-dollar question. Well, if you're still in the process of developing your hybrid work strategy and you haven't yet nailed down your most common use cases, let alone your collaboration platform of choice, the safer bet is to go with the Studio X30. It gives you a lot of operational and strategic flexibility, and most likely it will reduce the operational cost compared to deploying standalone USB devices. Especially for offices where there's no in-house IT support, I would recommend a fully managed Studio X30. Now, if you already know your most common use cases and most calls, you have measured this of course, only have 1 or 2 people joining from the same location and you want to avoid upfront cost, then go with the Studio R30. Here's the bottom line. Both endpoints are fantastic and they will serve you really well as long as you take into consideration the limitations and capabilities of the products. Now folks, I hope you found this video to be useful and I hope that it provided you with the insights that you were looking for. If you like this type of content, why not consider following us on LinkedIn? We are posting these types of updates and videos and articles on a regular basis and we'd love to hear from you. So folks, thanks for watching.